Hi, this is a review for the WISEWO T95Z 3G. It's a little Android TV box, which basically is in the market for other little TV devices like the Roku, Apple TV, and that. Basically, what this little device does is simulates an Android phone, probably better yet, an Android tablet on your television, meaning that anything you can do on an Android phone or tablet, you can do with this device hooked up to your TV, so the TV is then your display rather than your tablet or phone, which makes it a really cool little device to have if you're somebody like me who likes to rip all of your DVDs, Blu-rays. If you have a lot of video that you download, your own personal video, things you want to watch that are on your local network, this thing will allow you to stream from your network attached storage devices or another computer if it's online and accessible. Basically, you can do any of the apps that you would have on an Android device as well. So I've been testing this out with the DirecTV app, YouTube, Netflix, and all that kind of a thing. So depending what your needs are, this does a lot. The main program that I use is Kodi, K-O-D-I, which is included with this device, although it was one version behind. So what you're going to want to do if you buy one of these is go in to the Google App Store, Google Play Store, like you would on your phone or on your tablet if you have an Android device. Uninstall Kodi and then install the latest version, because it wouldn't let me install over the version that was already there. Once I did that, the latest version of Kodi was up and running. I put my network storage device username and password in, and I was able to instantly stream all of the content from that device. If you have movies and TV shows, the nice thing about Kodi, it's open source software, is it will go out and it will give you the artwork and the information on those programs. So it's a really cool way to view your content. You can look that up online. Again, Kodi's an open source program, K-O-D-I. But for the device itself, I've tested a bunch of these out in the past. I've been using Roku's since they came out. The one thing where Roku has always fallen short for me is the being able to play things over your network. You can buy Plex and do it, but that has always been the only way to do it, and you're paying for a subscription. A lot of people don't want to do that. The Kodi and this device really makes a nice pairing. Now, the hardware itself is where this thing shines. It has 3 gig of RAM, it has an octa-core CPU, and it has 32 gigabytes of storage on the device, which is really nice. The device that I was using before this was getting a little bit old and a little bit long in the tooth, as they say, where it wasn't as snappy. It was freezing every now and then. Had to go and do the dreaded pull out the power plug, wait and reboot it. This thing has been rock solid so far. But let me give you a little bit of an idea of what you have on this device itself. There's a couple of USB ports. One right now has this little dongle in there, which has goes to the included keyboard controller that comes with it. It has an Ethernet jack, so you can go wired, which I love. It does have wireless, and that seemed to work fine. I love having everything wired, so that's how I did a majority of my testing. You've got the optical audio there. You have actually an old component. So if you have the old, where you used to get out from the 3.5-inch jack to your RCAs, yellow for video, red and white for audio, you can do that. You've got, of course, HDMI there in the center, and you have where the power goes in, the little power cord. Over here we have another USB slot and a slot for a micro card, so you can put content on the device in various ways. If you have a bunch of video content or audio content on a USB hard drive, you can plug that in directly to here. If you have it on a thumb drive, you can put it on there, and also if you have it on a micro card, you can slide it right into the slot. Otherwise, it's a pretty simple little device. Looks like a little hockey puck, and it does the job. It really does a nice job. The remote control that this comes with, well, it comes with two. The actual normal remote actually works really well, very intuitive. You have a 4 positions there as far as up, down, left, and right. The main button in there for enter. It's a pretty simple remote, but it does the job. Now, since this is acting, again, as an Android device, when you go in and you're signing in to the store, you need to put your username and password, your email and password, which could be a lot of characters and a real pain to do with the old hunt and peck, with just using those location, using the up and down to go through the on-screen keyboard, which is why I highly recommend having a little keyboard device like this. I've used others in the past. Actually, this is the one thing I'm not 1,000% thrilled with as far as that this package goes. I would have preferred a keyboard that actually had individual buttons on it. But this one acts as a big trackpad, so it depends on what you prefer. A lot of people may like having the big trackpad where you can touch this. The little arrow comes up on your screen. You can move it around and you can tap it again to select whatever you're on. So that is maybe more of a user preference. This worked nicely. The one thing I don't like, sometimes you'll see me kind of winking here with this eye. At the end of last year, I lost pretty much all the vision in this eye. So my vision's pretty much bad to begin with. That made it even worse. And the one thing I didn't like about this device is that the letters are not very clear, especially if you're in a even semi-darkened room. Trying to use this as a keyboard, I couldn't really see it well enough to use it. Where the device that I have, which actually has little raised buttons on it, and it has the white lettering on there, which is a little bit clearer. I preferred that. But again, as a touchpad device, this worked really well. And I do recommend having some kind of device, some kind of keyboard device like this, because otherwise you are going to drive yourself absolutely nuts when it comes down to having to enter usernames and passwords as you set up things like Netflix or all those types of apps. Again, pretty much any app that's available for your Android phone or tablet is going to be available to put onto this device. So it makes it a lot more useful than just a Roku, in my estimation. And it also is a much better device for pulling content off of your own network. I've never had a problem with streaming things. Again, I've been using it wired on the Ethernet and not really on the Wi-Fi, but for the tests that I did on the Wi-Fi, it had more than enough bandwidth to do the job. So overall, the high points of this device are definitely the fact that the hardware is more than enough to do HD TV. I don't have a 4K TV, so I wasn't able to test that portion of the device out. But the 3 gigabytes of RAM is a big deal when it comes to this. Because again, if you have an Android phone or an Android tablet, you run out of RAM. The more apps that are open, the more apps you're using at one time. This definitely has the specs in the RAM and the CPU that make it a nice, snappy device. Running Kodi on it has been an absolute dream. Again, if you Google Kodi, you can find out there are some add-ons that you can put onto Kodi which aren't expressly legal, shall we say, that will allow you to watch things that maybe you're not supposed to. And I know that's one of the real popular things about Kodi, but the program is a whole lot more than that. Again, if you have your own content on a network-attached storage device, this is a great way to get it to your TV. If there's anything I missed on this device, feel free to put a comment on this review and we will try to answer them. But overall, high points here are definitely the hardware. Comes with an excellent remote here, and it really is an excellent touchpad keyboard. I wish that the letters were a little bit easier to see, but if you don't have vision problems like I do, that may not be a problem for you as well. But again, if you have a question, leave those down in the comments. If we can give you an answer, we'll do so. If we can find one, we'll certainly try to find them out. As far as TV boxes go that I have used, again, in the past, I've used everything from Raspberry Pis to Rokus to a bunch of different Android boxes. This is definitely at the top of my list as far as the Android boxes go. Roku is still, if you're looking for something for a very non-tech person, that doesn't like to get their hands dirty at all and install apps and stuff, Roku is still easier. But if you're comfortable doing anything, if you've had an Android tablet or an Android phone, and you're familiar with going and installing apps and playing with settings and all that, I would definitely take one of these over a Roku any day. Again, this has been a review of the WISEWO T95Z 3G. My name is Darren O'Neill. Thanks for watching.